are you? So we're super excited because we reached 5,000 subscribers yesterday. And so that's kind of our topic, but not really. But it's just me and Kirra, and Kimmy's off in Boise, so she should be popping into the comments at some point here. And we're in my car. We weren't planning on being in the car because it's a sunny day, but the wind is really bad. So in order for you to hear and all of that kind of stuff, we had to get out of the, there she is. Hi, Kimmy, you made it. So we had to come sit in the car because of the wind. So it's not really bad, but it's enough to, I think, affect the sound and all of that kind of stuff. So
miss you too, Kimmy.
Okay, who else is here? Let me know if you're here. I think Kirra said Ajit was here. Hi, Amy. Good morning. Evening, Amy. Where are you at? I know you've told me 100 billion times. I'm waving at the screen. Hi, Charlene. How are you? I think Kirra said Ajit was here. Good morning, Ajit. Hi, Colleen. Good morning.
Then Gorham says she couldn't make it.
Chicken Mama. Hi.
Yeah, Gorham says
she was leaving.
Yeah, so
okay.
We'll still say hi to
Hi,
you.
Priscilla. Hi, England. Lovely. That's right. Oh, wow. 6 p.m. there. Summer Volps. Hello. Hello, Kathy. How are you? Good morning. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Kelly. How are my plants doing? Hello from Michigan. Hello, Michigan. So we're pretty excited. We hit that elusive 5,000. Hi, Drew. Oh, my Drew. I just love you so much, Drew. Hi, Ajit. I'm excited about those plants, Kelly. Hi, Chuck. How are ya? Even though you're just saying hi to Kimmy, we'll still say hi. Hi, Elisa. Leisha.
I think hubby was a lucky
Steve's
number.
here too. Hi, Steve. So we finally hit that elusive 5,000. I don't know if you guys can hear the car, but we have to, hi, Kathy. We have to have the phone plugged in because I was reading a book on Kimball this morning. What an achievement. You're all, I'll tell you what, it was so funny, Amy. We just, literally, it was like that 5,000, that number, that 5,000. And how much does it affect the channel? Obviously, when the channel grows, you get more views and all that kind of stuff. But the views are what's the most important. So the more views every video gets, the better you do, the more you get paid, basically. But it's still exciting to watch the growth and the subscribers and all of that kind of stuff. It does help with sponsors, basically, the more subscribers you have. Hi, Chuck. We're gonna razz you. Hi, Carol. Good morning. Thank you. We're so excited about it. It's just funny. Now on to the next goal. Kelly. We are doing well. We did our Oklahoma trip, and we're back, and Kirra did a little vacation at her Aunt Jen's while we were on that trip. We had a lot of fun. Kim and I had a lot of fun on the trip, and you had a lot of fun on your vacation.
I did. I slept.
She slept a lot.
Yeah. My friend showed me all these new YouTuber gamers and video makers on YouTube, and they're hysterical.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then...
Hi, Dawn.
Yeah, we didn't do much. We were both flat broke. She's a college student, and I had bills to pay.
Oh, Kelly, I'm sorry you've been sick. Kimmy's sick right now. We're making her stay in Boise until she gets better, because we don't want that. Send pics to you to look after. Oh, cool. So we were trying to figure out a topic, what we wanted to talk about, and something that we've kind of brought up a lot. And Kelly, you can't send me the pictures now. It interrupts the flow of the live.
Kelly said the big C was kicking her rear end.
Oh, no.
Randall Harris says, "Hi, ladies. Heather's hair is up.
Yeah.
Kirra got a hair color update, and the place looks good." If it makes you like giggle more, it faded a bit.
It did fade a little bit, but it still looks really cute. I like
Yeah.
it.
I do too.
I like the pink better than the blue.
I do agree.
I feel like your blue eyes pop like crazy right now. Like they're really noticeable,
Probably.
which is cool. And then you're kind of getting these little highlights in it. It's like a little bit of purple, a little bit of super light pink, and then the bright pink. I think it looks really cool.
I do too.
I like it.
I'm gonna laugh if the blonde shows up.
I like the pink too. Chuck, it is. I am so ready to get back to building, but I have to say, the trip wiped me out there and back emotionally.
I'm having a hard time with motivation.
The motivation is definitely a thing. But we had a friend of ours retire, and there was a big party, and I got into the big party, and I emotionally kind of shot down. It was really loud, and there was a lot of people, and I wanted to stay longer, and I just really had to go. Well, I was going out to Kelly's house to have dinner with them too, but it was one of those just emotional blahs. So she does rock the pink, doesn't she, Vicky? I really like the pink a lot better. Like her skin looks really pretty and all of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So,
And Amy, I don't know what brand you're talking about, so I used the Splat. I can't forget which one you suggested.
For the 4th 70. Oh, don't be afraid to do it, Dawn. Totally do the red, white, and blue for. Actually, Kirra will do it too. We'll do her hair too. She wanted to do it last year, and we didn't get to do it. So
I even had the colors on me.
She did. Yeah, we were totally going to do it.
I'll probably try the Arctic Fox this time.
We have a new person. Hi, King360. Welcome. I missed your thing, so posting it on there.
Yeah, he has the fingers crossed.
Oh, okay. So we kind of were trying to come up with a topic because we definitely like starting with a topic. Unless you guys have a ton of questions, Amy, it is. It's just really hard to stay motivated when you want to, when you feel overwhelmed. And the day was so beautiful yesterday. It was like 60 degrees, and we did get started on shoshibaning the wood for the tunnel that we're going to be. Words are hard this morning, apparently.
Every time you say shoshibaning, it sounds like something from Japan.
It sounds like food, doesn't it? It is actually from Japan. It's it's the way they used to, before you could weather seal your wood. That's how they did it. And so it really
But I do agree, it also does sound like food.
It does sound like food to me. Of course, I'm a foodie. I like my snacks.
Hey, I like snacks too. I'm just a picky snack eater.
It's true. So we did do some of that. We pulled the rabbits out. They got to hang out in a pen and all of those kinds of things. It was really cool.
Which was hysterical.
Enjoyed the day.
Yeah, I forgot her name.
Lily.
Yeah, I thought the black one was Lily.
Black one's Ebony.
Okay, so Lily was like running in circles, jumping. She's like, oh my gosh!
She was having the best time and flirting with Pepper.
Yeah, Pepper's like, I want on this side.
Yeah, it was so cute. And when we separated them, because we rebred them, and so when we separated them, they just laid on the fence line together with their backs to each other. It was so cute.
Yeah.
Like leaning on each other. It was super cute. But we were trying to think of a topic, and something that we talk a lot about that Kirra kind of wanted to delve a little bit more into was her autism and what it's like being autistic, and why we've actually decided to talk more about our disabilities on this channel.
So I guess I'll go first. My autism,
So what's it like being autistic? You think about that. She's panicking now. So I was
like find words.
I was sitting in the library editing, uploading one day, and these two young girls, I would say high school, age, we're sitting there talking about how their brains work and how people don't understand them and how hard that is in their daily lives, because they just don't relate to basic conversations of people their age, and how people their age that aren't autistic don't understand them. And it was really cool to be able to hear that, because that's something that I'm always trying to figure out with Kirra is, how is she thinking? What is, I want to make sure that I'm articulating things so that she understands me and that she gets what we're doing. She's
I'd like it to be very well known. A lot of the times when she does explain things to where I think I understand them, and it's like, okay, I think I get it, and I go do it. She goes, that's not what I meant. And I was like, well then.
Yeah.
But if I had to say, being autistic for me is really challenging. I didn't get diagnosed until I was literally 18, 19.
And actually, they misdiagnosed you at 18 and 19.
Yeah, they got switching from Asperger's to autism.
Well, no, because when you were living with me and we were trying to figure out what was going on, and your mom didn't want them to do the testing, so we had to actually wait till you were 18 to do the testing because she wouldn't sign off on the paperwork. So when you turned 18, they did the testing and they said you were developmentally delayed, and
which we already knew that one.
And there was something else that they were saying, and they put you on Ritalin.
Yeah.
And that's, the Ritalin worked as far as your focus, but you weren't hungry, so you got super, super skinny, and you just couldn't eat.
Yeah. Like, my work ethic was still pretty good, and my memory was amazing.
Yeah.
It's just, I wasn't eating at all.
No.
So my doctor goes, how much
Good morning, man.
My doctor goes, how much did you weigh? I go, this. And she goes, how much do you weigh now?
Yeah, Carol,
I
agree.
Yeah, I go, this. She goes, okay, you're getting off this now.
Yeah, she lost a ridiculous amount of weight, and just couldn't eat. She'd take like 2 bites, and yes, Alicia, they did say ADHD. That was another one that they said. That was ADHD, and the developmentally delayed.
Yeah.
But you had no medication all the way through high school, all the way through all of her schools. Yeah. Completely undiagnosed.
Which made school super hard.
Super hard.
It really sucked because I would try to pay attention in class and I wouldn't get what they were teaching in class. I could say, like, certain classes I could keep up with, like history. History wasn't complicated. Math was kind of like a puzzly pattern sort of thing that I could pick up on. Reading and writing, no, that one sucked.
That was hard.
It was super hard.
And comprehension. But that you were really good at
the extracurricular
Well, I'm going to say parroting, repeating things you had already heard, which is called parroting. So people assumed that you understood things, but you didn't understand things.
Yeah, like I was in elementary school and I was saying words and enunciating them properly that they thought my...
Hi, Heather.
They thought my vocabulary and understanding things was high school level. I was like, no, I just heard these words and I'm really good at mimicking.
Alicia is really tough. It was really tough. And that's, so when she came to live with me, it was because I homeschooled my son. And so the ADD and DD autism often go hand in hand, and I lost it.
Yeah, that's it now.
And the world's better at understanding these disorders, but still have so far to go. My niece is autistic, and her teachers picked up on her parroting. Yeah, I was really... Let's see, I came into your life, you were 14.
Yeah, getting ready to turn 14.
And...
She picked up on something.
I picked up on it really quick.
I wasn't doing what my sister was doing. My sister's a normal... pretty straight there kind of kid. Me, on the other hand, it's just like I had an overly weird obsession with books, TV, games. I wasn't interested in makeup. Like, I tried it, and I was like, I don't see the appeal in this. This is a pain. And, like, kids my age were like, oh, I want to get a boyfriend. I was like, no, that's a lot of work. And,
funny.
I had... I had a very weird habit of having things done a specific way that was out of the norm.
And wanting to keep all of your things on you.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the obsession with the books, because I actually grew up with an obsession with books. Like, I was always reading and always had things that I was doing, but I didn't have to carry them with me. She wanted all of her books. They are a good thing to be addicted to, right? I completely agree. I love books.
Dude, she landed
Exactly,
my job.
Carol. I totally agree too. No, boyfriend, that's just smart, not weird. Exactly. But there was this
lack of interest or showing
of just what's considered normal for her age. There just wasn't compulsive, Alicia. Yeah. So, and your anxiety was really high, and you freeze.
Yeah,
you have a freeze thing that happens when you panic.
Yeah, it's one of the things why I'm not allowed to drive.
That's why she doesn't drive.
Because something will happen and I kind of go into possum mode. I freeze and go, ah! And another one of the problems is foods. I have hard times eating, like, okay, I'll make onions my example because I hate onions.
She hates them.
Like,
we all love them. She hates them.
Like, I like the flavor. I just don't like any part of it being in my mouth. Cooked or raw, I don't like them. It freaks me out. It's like, I don't know what it is. It's like when they're crunchy, it's just like nails on chalkboard. But when they're all wiggly and loose, it feels like I'm eating a worm.
Ew.
So
that would be gross.
Yeah. So I'm having like no part of the onions. Cooked vegetables I hate. I can't. Yeah. They're just so weird. I feel like that one actually is because my mother had me on a raw vegetable kick when I was younger or something.
I don't know. I think that's the texture. I had never been around people that talked about the texture of food in my life until I came to be where you guys were at.
Yeah, like cooked carrots I could not eat. And when I was told I had to eat them, I had to swallow them whole even when they were cooked because I was like, I'm not chewing this. This is so weird. Like every time I would chew a cooked carrot, I felt like throwing up and crying because it was bad.
She is chatty today. I think it's great. That's why I was like, hey, you're in a chatty mood. We're going to talk about this topic because she's been textures remind you of your grandson. I had never heard of people with texture issues. Like that was never in my world before, Kirra. So, and I'd have to say as someone who doesn't deal with that, it's really hard to say, okay, you deal with that, or are you making this up? Like that's...
And it's not made up because we were putting insulation in the walls in the treehouse area. I cannot touch it.
No, she was almost in tears, completely almost in tears.
Like,
and that's
nothing to do with it.
That's where I would say someone who's had never been around somebody with autism and then getting around somebody with autism, learning that it's a real thing, treating it as a real thing. It's not just somebody trying to get out of work or out of eating specific foods, because she'll eat raw vegetables all day long, like raw carrots, raw broccoli,
raw celery.
You hate peas. You love beans.
I do love beans.
But this is the weird thing. She'll eat canned beans, canned from the grocery store, not real canned beans, canned from the grocery store.
Green beans is what she's talking about, not actual beans.
Yeah, the green beans.
Yeah, the regular green beans.
Hi, Dutch Creek Cabin. Thank you.
I'd never had fresh green beans before, so when I did eat them raw, they just felt and tasted so gross. I was like, no.
Yeah.
So that's the only way.
All of this has to do with her sensory processing disorder, which Kimmy was bringing back up. So she has that, and then you have your autism.
Like parts of me have a hard time feeling stuff with my hands, so I always feel better when I use my face or whatever.
Yeah, she'll put things on her face.
It's like, okay, this is soft. I like this, or because it's like I can't fully tell. Like one of the things is I was helping her with her pump house back in Rockport. I came across yeah, I came across something that looked like a wire, but I couldn't tell if it was a wire or a tree root, so I licked it.
Yeah, that's a constant thing that we have to keep her from doing. So my question to you, because when we started doing YouTube, I specifically made it up to you whether we talked about your autism or if you were even on it on the channel, right?
Yeah.
It was going to be really hard to film because she helps me so much, but it was one of those things of maybe we would try to do things without her being filmed if she didn't want to. Hi, the salty monkey.
Yeah.
And so I left that up to you whether or not you wanted to be on and whether or not you wanted to talk about your autism or if we wanted to talk about that at all. So why did you make the decision that you made
to do the channel with you?
To do the channel and to talk about your autism.
I talk about my autism because a part of it is I like talking about it because it helps me understand it because I didn't know anything about it for so long. And I like it.
Thank you, Susan.
When she talks with me about it because it's like, okay, I need to understand this.
Sil.
But I was okay with talking and being videoed because it's like, this is my weird part is I just didn't care. It's like, I don't care what other people think or feel. This is my person and my person needs help. So whatever she needs,
Me too,
I'll
Charlene.
do.
I completely agree.
And it was more along the lines where I'm
waving back, Drew.
It was more along the lines of where I used to live. I hated being autistic because it made me feel like I was failing everybody. But when I'm here with my Aunt Heather and we're showing people what my autism is like or about, it makes me feel happy because I feel like I don't have to like hate the fact that I'm not like everybody else. Because for the longest time I did. It's like I hate myself.
And then we had talked a lot about when we were talking about whether or not we were going to let people know and what the purpose of our channel was about. And the purpose of our channel was so that we could inspire people.
Yeah.
And that was our real big thing, was hoping that, knowing, actually not hoping, but knowing, because Kirra is so inspirational to me all the time. So that it would inspire other people, whether they were autistic or not. Let me just say this real quick and then I'll let you go. But someone who had not been around autistic kids or autistic adults at all my whole life, really, being around Kirra and watching her struggle and watching the fact that she still tries really, really hard all the time to do the absolute best that she can do. I mean, we all have our moments where we don't want to do anything and we want to just hide up in our hidey hole. But you try, and you're always trying to do better. And with all the new things that I throw at you all the time, you're always like, okay, I'll try. And that attitude, I think, is super, super inspirational, and showing people that could help people like who were like me, who had not been around autistic people, and not only help that, but help autistic people say, hey, Kirra's doing that really cool thing. I could probably try to do that too.
Yeah, so as everybody knows, not all autistic people are the same. My cousin is super wicked smart. She's studying to be a bioengineerist. My strength for my autism was strength in general. Her strength for her autism was she could learn anything. It was crazy amazing.
She's a super, super high IQ.
That too.
I feel like really high. She reminds me of my sister. My sister had a super high IQ too.
But her deal is she's not very expressive like I am. She's very, and she comes off as like...
It's true, Alicia.
Yeah, she comes off as standoffish or not people liking, but it's just she's just like,
yeah. Once you get around her and you know her more, then you realize
Yeah.
she's not being mean.
Yeah.
She's just very, very blunt. Is
Very.
very, very blunt. She has no softening of the edges.
No.
So that was why we talked about your autism, was truly to help other people and not as an attention seeking.
Yeah, I wanted to show
thing.
people that just because you're either autistic or the world's not fair, just keep powering through it and everything will work out on its own.
Well, and that's why I talk about my PTSD and my depression. And, you know, I know that everybody kind of put out a video. I noticed it along the YouTube lines that people were putting out things on depression and that they were dealing with it because it's a real thing on the homestead, off the homestead, regardless. But winter has a tendency to bring that out quite a bit more because of the lack of vitamin D and sun and stuff. And, you know, we had a few people send some emails that you shouldn't talk about that stuff. You shouldn't have a depressing channel, blah, blah, blah. But I'm hoping that the people that actually watched those videos saw that I wasn't just talking about being depressed, or I wasn't just talking about my PTSD. I really try to say this is how I deal with it and how I continue to do more things and get out of it and all of that kind of stuff. Amy, you're right. She is perfect just as she is. And I hope that comes across, because that's what we're trying to do. We're definitely not trying to make people feel sorry for us or any of those things. I think more people nowadays deal with autism and PTSD and depression. And it's really easy to feel like you're all by yourself and you're all alone. Because didn't you feel like that for a while, that you had this issue and you were all alone in it?
I felt alone about not being able to know how to go about it or deal with it. And like, I don't have a problem being alone. It's just I felt alone when I couldn't try to communicate with somebody my own age or everything or other people. I'll be real with you. I was afraid of people my own age. I avoided them like the plague. I could deal with kids or adults. Like kids my age, nope. But I felt sad and depressed and lonely, because it's like, how can I be like everybody else so they can understand me and I can talk with them?
And you know, though, but I think even people who are not autistic deal with that same issue.
Yeah.
Not that that's taking away from you dealing with that issue, but I know I always felt super awkward and weird, and I didn't relate to kids my age. I think I grew up very fast, and I had to mature very quickly because of my childhood. And so I didn't like want to do those things, you know, that kids my age were doing, but it was definitely very different than yours. A different issue than yours. But
yeah, like when I was growing up, I picked up on things really fast. Like, when the adults were talking about something, I would start to, like, my brain would go try to figure out what's going on, because I picked up on their patterns. If they did something that wasn't within their pattern, then I picked up on it, and it's like, okay, what's going on here? And I matured a little faster than others.
So too. I really like what Amirda said. Depression is real. Recognize it and dealing with it can help others deal with it. Talking about it helps and others deal with it. And that was exactly why I decided to even talk about the depression, because, you know, I have two sides. I'm actually very, very serious on one side, and my other side is super playful, super fun, super laughy, all of those things. Like I can jump into either or pretty quickly. When I go serious, it scares everybody.
No, when she goes serious, she just loses everybody, because everybody's like, I can't.
Kim calls it my man brain.
Yeah.
But
Kirra just calls it complicated because I'm not in there to actually know what you're thinking.
Right. But I do know that I've had a lot of people say, well, you don't have depression. That can't be real because you're always so happy go lucky. And, Robin Williams was an example of someone who was super happy go lucky and
You never
had
yes.
had horrible depression and dealt with it. So I'm a firm believer in find your tribe, and your tribe are people who love you and lift you up and support you and don't put you down as far as, oh, you have this thing and you're using it to get people to manipulate people. I think that that's something that I've heard before. And it's really hard to say, hey, I have this thing. Hey, I'm dealing with this issue, because we all have issues. Everybody has the issues, right? So we all have our own issue that we deal with, and we all have the reasons why we deal with those things that may be a little bit different, but it's definitely the steps to move towards happiness and pure joy there in that in your gut, right? One of the things that helps me the most is helping other people. And with my alcoholism, when I talk to another woman or man that has alcoholism and they're in those first steps of dealing with that, usually, almost always, there's PTSD, there's depression, there's all of those things, and we have used that as our medication to fix those issues. And so by healing and by doing better and by learning these steps and walking that hard walk, we can help other people. And that's just like Kirra. Kirra struggles a lot with just the daily things, as far as, let me understand what you're doing and let me try to behave like I'm supposed to behave. And we're going through this thing right now where it's like, stop pretending like you have to behave a specific way. You don't have to. We're trying to find that happy place for her, for you.
Yeah.
And
like one of the things we learned recently is I am a big people pleaser. I try to give answers that they want to hear. I try to be and act the way they want me to be and act. It's just, but when Aunt Heather asks me, what is it and who is it you want to be, Kirra? And it's like, I have no idea. Because Aunt Heather calls it a tribe. I use the word pack because I watched a lot of Animal Planet and animal documentaries growing up.
And you relate to that because it's so cute. She'll be like, if you were an animal, you would be.
Yes.
She says that with everybody. It's so cute.
Yeah.
So who am I if I was an animal?
Alpha.
I'm an alpha. But what so I'm a wolf?
Yes.
Because that's...
Well, in the animal kingdom, there's always alphas and betas and omegas.
Yeah.
But the thing is Aunt Heather would be one of those. Aunt Heather would be a bird of prey. She has a very strong appearance, but can also be very soft and gentle when it comes to it.
Hi, Celtic Roots Farms.
I forgot.
We are doing great. So we were tribes and packs.
Yeah. Okay. So I just find who my pack is, so to speak. So I was at my mom's, and that was my pack. It was whatever she needed. I tried my best to be.
Mm-hmm.
When I was at my Aunt Jen's, I tried what she wanted me to be. My mom and Aunt Jen, Mom wanted a normal child, which I wasn't. My sister was. My Aunt Jen wanted somebody who went the extra mile or wanted to
Book smarts. She really is into book smarts.
Yeah, she liked book smart people, but she also wanted goals. She doesn't understand when people are just finding content with where they are and whatnot. So she wanted somebody that went forward and was enthused by it.
Well, and I also feel that sometimes
people.
sometimes it's really hard to say, where am I in my space, and figuring that out in general. So, how do I feel about what it is that I'm doing? How can I, Carol, of course you could be in our tribe.
Welcome to the weirdness.
Really finding out who am I and where am I in my space right now? Because if you can't and that's such a fluid feeling, I think, because you definitely grow and you're definitely gonna make some changes. We've tried really hard with a 5-year plan, and that was a lot. That was really hard.
Yeah.
Again, but I think that's because of your expectations to fill other people's needs. Like your mom wants you to be this, your dad wants you to be this, your grandma wants you to be this, I want you to be, you know what I mean? So finding out that space where you're
where I'm fine just being me is hard.
And that's what we're working on right now.
Because I don't know what I want to be. I'm so used to being a people pleaser.
You are absolutely the tribe, Vicky. You show up.
Yeah, I'm so used to being a people pleaser. It's like, what is it that I want to be? So one of the things that we learned is I still like being very childish. I found an outfit that I actually really like, and it's like a kid would wear that, and it's like,
and this is where this one's hard for me. Because this is my very serious side. I have a very, very serious side. So, and usually whenever I'm in the serious side, everybody thinks I'm mad, but I'm not mad. I'm just being serious. It's my, so I've taken a bunch of those tests of which side of your brain do you use, your left or your right, and I always come out 50%. I use both sides, apparently. So her clothes that she likes to wear are literally clothes that you would wear to Comic-Con, and she wants to wear them all the time, and my thing is wear things that make you happy, but we don't have to be Comic-Con all the time. So, this is a hard one for someone who doesn't deal with those things versus someone who does like those things, and trying to figure out that happy medium, right?
Yeah, because a part of me, I'll be real with all of you.
Why does that terrify me? Let's see.
Being a people pleaser and trying to please everybody, one of the things I do know about myself is I hate reality. So when I wear my cosplaying clothes, it makes me feel like anything's possible. It makes me feel like all the problems can easily be solved with like the snap of your fingers.
I completely agree. Celtic Roots Farm.
Because for me, the convention clothes made me feel like I can avoid reality for a good long while. Because I didn't want to think or acknowledge or deal with the concepts of hardship. I did not like not being able to help where I could. I didn't like the idea of that animals would die because I wasn't there to help them. So being in those outfits making me feel like reality is easy as snapping your fingers was...
Well, and I think reality is hard whenever you're trying to live to someone else's reality.
That too.
And I think that's why we've decided to do this. Let's find your space that you're happy in. And that's a feasible thing to do here on this planet.
Yeah. Like, if I needed a happy place, the house that me and her were thinking of building, I was going to turn it into an Alice in Wonderland
Alice in
house.
Wonderland
because
house.
I love Alice in Wonderland because everything that doesn't make sense makes sense, and everything that does make sense doesn't make sense. It's like up is down and down is up. It's like, okay, I get that.
Yes, I love this. And, you know, we're probably still going to be able to do something like that. We'll see. I mean, we're learning to build. We're learning to do better. We're learning to get, you know, those kinds of things. That, to me, that's pretty advanced architectural design and that kind of stuff, where I am not living someone else's life is the pits. It absolutely is. And I think that that's regardless if you have autism or not. You know, but and trying to live up to someone else's expectations is extremely hard. So we're working on those. We're working on those new things. You know, just trying to find that super happy. I have always, for me, this is my happy place. Like, my soul has called me to homestead from the time I was very, very young. And so doing this kind of stuff, even though pretty much everyone in my family, my biological family, thinks I'm nuts, you know, back in the day, like my grandfather and all those things. Thanks for hanging out with us, Celtics Roots Farm. We really appreciate it. We have a pretty serious topic today. Normally we're a little goofy, but we decided to have a pretty serious topic today. So thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. You know, so this kind of life has just called me. And you know, my mom grew up, when she grew up, you know, you had to have a garden, you had to raise some of your own meat or hunt, and you had to preserve things and that kind of stuff. So, and she hated it. She hated everything about it and refused to do any of it when I was growing up, even though that's all I ever wanted to do was that kind of stuff. I learned to cook when I was 10 because my mom hated cooking, and I wanted to cook from scratch. I did not want to just, you know, get a thing of pancake mix and make pancakes. I literally wanted to, how do you make the pancake mix? Like, I was obsessed with this. And this was as a 10-year-old. Like, I wanted to know where the things came from. And then it was, well, could I grow wheat in order to make the pancake mix from scratch? Like, this was my thing. I was just, and again, this was at 10 years old. And I remember going to my grandma's house and spending the summer and going down into the basement and just looking at the rows of canned peaches, real canned peaches from a home canned peaches, and just loving that, like loving everything about that. And again, 10 years old. I was 10 years old when that obsession started. And throughout my adult life, I have tried to do more of those things that truly just make me happy doing it. I agree, Charlene. I'm not reading all the comments just because we're trying to do this topic, and I know it's going to make everybody mad whenever they rewatch it because they're not going to hear the comments, and that makes it hard. But I'm hoping that this is a topic that people can understand as they're rewatching the live, because most of our views come from with people rewatching. Sun is starting to tan me. It's probably not a good side to have the sun on with my bad ear. So that's what we're looking for with Kirra, is what motivates her, what wants her to do more than just play your video games and get sucked down in, because that's a very easy space for you to go. I get sucked into books, just reading. I'm one of those people that when I pick up a book and I start a book, I can't put it down until I'm done, or I can't think I can't think of anything other than that book and what's going on in that book and that fantasy.
You're always wondering, what happens next?
I know, and it's like, okay, we're taking a break, and I'd start reading again. So, you know, it's one of those things that I say because of my addict mentality. I get addicted to the things very easily, that it's like, okay, I can't pick up that book until I know that I can finish that book in one reading, basically. Hi, Tiffany. So, we're working on finding that space for Kirra so that she can pull out of it. So this is the first time I've ever heard her say this, but Kimmy and I were talking about our gardens and what we wanted to do with our gardens this year and what we wanted to grow. And what'd you say? Very quietly from the back of the truck.
Would it be okay if I had a little strip to try gardening?
Which I tried to not scare her because I got so excited. I was like, this is so exciting. Okay, I have to take off my sweatshirt. It's really warm in here. It's like a little hothouse. We could totally grow seeds in here.
I can't really say much because I'm just still in all black.
You're good to go over there.
I was like, I'm good.
I got super hot. Got my Harley shirt on. So we're pretty excited. Kirra's gonna have her own gardening section.
I gotta try to figure out what I want to grow. They're gonna grow everything. It's like I want
to grow all the things.
Yeah, I want to grow something that they're not, so it actually like makes me go out to deal with it instead of like they'll just deal with it. Because it's like I want to try growing something that they're not, because I want to feel like the gardening was
You contributed.
Yeah, I contributed, and I feel.
Thank you, Kippy.
And I feel.
Bye, Judy.
Like I want to be.
You're part of the team.
Yeah,
an intricate part of the team, right?
Yeah, okay. A bit of it. Truth be told, I hate gardening. I don't like it.
Why do you hate it?
My mom would make me clean her garden, and then she wouldn't really do anything, and I still had to continue to clean the garden and whatnot, and I hate gardening. But another part of it is I'm not a big gardening fan because plants die when I touch them. Because I can do with animals, plants now. Plants just.
Well, and this is one of those things of there's so many methods. So I love growing the things. I love sitting out in the garden, but I don't, it's not as fun when you become the slave to the garden that people talk about. So we're going to really set it up in a different way that is not what are you looking at? Oh, you had a thought?
Yeah. How do you feel about cactus juice?
No, I fall in cactuses. I grew up in Arizona and it was terrible.
I tried.
And I don't think cactuses would grow here. But setting things up so that they're very simple to do, like, having the barrels of water right next to the garden, having it even on a timer if that becomes a thing, and
weeding.
Weeding. I love weeding. I actually really love weeding. But if you mulch really well and you do that kind of stuff, then you take down the amount of weeding that you have to do.
I'll be real with you.
I love aloe vera. I love garlic.
Yeah, I'll be real with you. My idea of weeding is a blowtorch.
Which you can't do because that's why the plants die.
So takes forever.
I was on Facebook and somebody asked what things could go into the garden right now here in northern Idaho, and the answer was nothing because it's going to get cold again. But next month we're supposed to be able to start carrots, potatoes, and beets.
I'm loving the idea of potatoes.
So potatoes and carrots, because you love carrots.
I love
too.
Carrots.
So I'm actually really excited. So we're going to put in a ton of that because the carrots, the rabbits can eat, the pigs can eat, the greens of the beets and the carrots tops. Look at her. She's going to kill me. We can never get off the live. She's going to... She may injure me after the live is over. Lots of sunflowers, absolutely.
She's trying to make me share my carrots and potatoes.
So, because part of my being self-sustainable is to grow some of the things in every season of the garden that can help feed the animals, because we are raising meat rabbits and those are eventually going to feed us.
Yeah, the only time
I would share our bounty.
Okay, I will share my carrots, but only with the horse. And the pigs may have some of my potatoes because pigs like potatoes,
right?
But only horses get my carrots.
So we're definitely looking at gardening even just a little bit more different, because it's what can grow that we like to eat that can also help sustain the animals, because the price of feed and stuff is going to be going up, and
Luckily, we got plenty of eggs.
We got lots of eggs. We're looking at feeder pigs, but we can't really find any right now. I did find a lady that breeds Cooney Coons, which I'd really like to get. They take quite a while to grow out.
And they're so small when they're born.
They're so cute. So we definitely want to get a couple of babies. Vicky, you're talking about giant sunflowers. I love sunflowers. It is probably one of my favorite flowers, and the giant ones, I just literally giggle like a little girl. Like I can't handle it. But I don't like cut flowers at all. Not even a little bit.
I'll be real with you. I don't like flowers, period. But sunflowers I would be okay with because I like the seeds.
I think garlic still goes in the fall. So we missed out on garlic, but we will get that in. North 40 has seed potatoes. We need to go by North 40.
Okay.
Garlic is good for you, and I love it.
Okay, here's a question for everybody. How do you think it's possible for a herb garden? Because I want to do tea. Because that was always my dream. I wanted to do raspberry.
We're totally going to have a tea garden.
Yeah, because that was...
But you have to let me help. Because I drink tea too. Kim is a no-go.
Yeah.
But
I'll let you help, but you can pick the weeds. But I would...
harvest it in.
Yeah, but that was one of my things. I wanted to grow in my mom's garden because I was like, okay, maybe I'll like gardening if I grow something I want. And I wanted to do a tea garden because I wanted to grow stuff for tea because I liked tea.
Well, I do know that we can grow that here because that was in one of the gardening chats that I belong to. They were talking about different things that we can grow. So we're definitely going to have
I like orchids. Those are pretty, but I also like red spider lilies. I would try growing those in a garden.
We are going to be doing a greenhouse, Drew. Your mom was spilling the beans, I heard. But I was hoping that we can get it in this year. There may be a possibility that we can. I don't know.
We can grow coffee beans.
I don't think we can grow coffee here. I think that's a whole thing. Chocolate mint makes great tea. Yeah, it does. Ooh. Weed cloth, exactly. If you put down the weed cloth, you don't have to weed as much. And we will be definitely doing that.
I'll help with that, but don't expect you to like it.
You know, the thing about it is, so the rabbits, here's why I love rabbits so much. And this is what I did in Texas, and it was my very, very first garden I'd ever done. One, I had the rabbits lived in the garden area. They were caged, they were in the rows, and I could just pull them along. But as I would pull them along, their manure would stay behind, and I would just rake it up on and then onto the beds and then put down straw or bedding from the other animals or that kind of stuff. And I hardly had to weed at all. I think within 30 minutes, my whole little garden was completely weeded. Now, this was in Texas, and you know, it's a whole different climate and all of those things. So learning up here is going to be a little bit different, but I feel like it's basically the same. The more mulch you put down, the less weeds grow. We do deal with drought up here, so that's like a real thing. Kimmy, if we do build that special greenhouse, we can grow coffee. That's your utopia. That's so funny. Getting that greenhouse in is going to be a game changer because we'll be able to grow year round up here, which would be really cool.
They may never see me again.
You live in there because it'd be nice and toasty warm.
Yeah.
Kira's like, my cabin can go right here.
Like, I will deal with doing the plants for you. I'm sleeping in here. It's so warm during the winter.
That'll be our place. We'll go out there in the wintertime and hang out. I have to roll down the window more. The sun's coming in on my side, so it's making it super warm.
Give you
a little cross breeze will be good. So yeah, that's kind of our plan with that and learning the new things and doing the new things. And that's what I'm pretty excited with you is you're now, before it was like, absolutely will not do that. I want nothing to do with it. And you'd get really angry about the garden. And we're now, and same with some of the critters. You were like, I hate chickens. I hate birds. I don't want any more birds. But now you're getting to where you're like, okay, I'm super excited about doing some of that. And that's
Peacocks. I'm looking forward
fun.
to those.
I loved the peacocks. I miss my peacocks. I had a few and I loved them.
Like, I like turkeys and I like...
We're definitely going to do strawberries. We're going to do blackberries and raspberries and all the berries, blueberries. You know, trying to move towards the keto diet more, you can do berries. So that's the fruit that you can do. But we do have the orchard that we're putting in. I'm so glad, Mary. Thank you.
I'm looking forward to the berries because once we freeze them, it'll be fat shake season.
Well, we're hoping that we can get a freeze dryer and do more of that too, so we can freeze dry everything too, versus canning and all of those things.
I'm a fat shake lover. It's part of the keto diet. It's so good. It's cream cheese half and half, stevia sugar, and berries of your choice.
But if you're gonna buy flowers, send us seeds. Send us seeds. We totally would love seeds. If you're gonna send some things, send seeds. We are zone 7 and we have lots of space. So
Red spider lilies.
Red spider lilies, that's what you like?
Yes.
Yeah, because we are trying to get away from the candy and the food like that. So
I'm not.
yes, you are. We can't have it in the house because I can't control myself. Therefore, you guys have to suffer.
I'm supposed to be on the keto diet because it helps with the autism, but I don't like the lack of fruit.
I'll tell
I will have
you
issues.
when this is the thing that I personally think is the keto diet gets the bad sugars out of your system and the bad things that you're not supposed to have, which helps your autism. And I know when you were on it, when you moved in with me, when you were 18, 17, and you were there for a few years, when you did that, that aggression level went down, all of those things went down. So I don't think it's the fruit, and the fruit does have lots of sugar in it. I think it's the white sugar versus real nature sugar.
I thought it was the stress that went down because I feel like that was
the stress went down, but that's what keto does is it works with your brain, and it I'm not gonna say slows down your brain because you actually get a lot of energy, but it takes away that
aggression.
That anxiety, aggression. It just calms you. Everything about that diet calms you. Your body digesting those foods and the fat and the protein.
Yeah, I no longer
slows
need
all
to be
that
in
down.
Fight or flight mode.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think all of it works as far as, you know, where you're living and the environment you're in and the food. I think all of that helps a huge amount.
Yeah, like so how I first was introduced to the keto diet was through my mom. She goes, I'm going to put you on the keto diet. And I was like, why? I don't want to. I don't need to diet. And she goes,
Thanks, Carol.
She goes, it's an all meat diet. I was like, okay, you won me over.
I'm in like Slim.
And then she goes, you're not allowed any fruits. I was like, and
Yes,
you lost
ma'am.
me. I'm out. She goes, why? Because like, we live next door to a fruit apple orchard.
Yeah.
And you're telling me I'm not allowed to have any fruits? Yeah, not happening, woman. I love fruit. I like apples. I like bananas. I like oranges. I like pears. I like kiwis. I like cantaloupe. I like pineapple. I like fruit.
Well, and I think if you, again, I think it's not the natural sugars. I think it's the processed sugar.
Yeah.
And the part of that diet is because you wouldn't be doing it for weight. I would be doing it for weight. You would be doing it just because it's better.
Help balance some brain chemicals.
Exactly. So, I don't think having the fruit is going to be an issue. I don't think that's going to be, I am not going to say, Kirra, you can't have the fruit. I'm not going to do that because I don't, unless there's some behavior problem that comes up that we see when we add those fruits. You know what I mean? So, but I don't think that's going to be an issue at all. So
like, I know berries are fruit, but the berries are not enough.
I think if you had unlimited berries, remember when Victor's my son, he came to Western Washington and we were
going to go kayaking.
We were going kayaking for my birthday, and it's kind of how we do it. If it's your birthday, you get to choose what we get to go do. And I wanted to go kayaking. So we bought kayaks and we were going kayaking, and we left her and Victor in this one spot where we were going to put all the kayaks in, and it was tons of wild blackberries. And he's just sitting there eating them, and she's like, he just ate so many of those.
I'm like, he hasn't breathed or stopped since you left.
When he was 5, I used to send him out because we had in Texas. They weren't as big as the berries, the wild ones over there in Western Washington, but I would send him out. I had planted a bunch of blackberries on one of the trees, on one of the fence lines, and I would send him out to go get blackberries for our pancakes. He was like 5, and he'd come in with like 3 berries, but his whole face would be covered in the berries, and he was like, I'm not hungry anymore. He's like 5. It was the cutest thing. He loves blackberries. So we'll totally put up.
Yeah, I would stay at her. Me and my sister would stay at her house, and she would buy fruit, and all her fruit was gone. I liked fruit. Like, she had candies in the house, but I went after the fruit. And I was like, nope, it's the apples.
Exactly. Well, we've hit our hour. Here, I thought we were going to have a hard time talking about things.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Exactly. We really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We're so excited for our 5,000 subscribers and growing the channel and just growing our tribe.
Our pack. Sorry, too much Animal Planet.
It's okay. It's totally okay. So, hey, wait. Danny. Hi, Danny. Good morning. I think I missed you, or did you just get on here?
I feel like you just got on.
I feel like you did too.
You never say nothing.
I'm sorry that I didn't read all of the comments out loud and that kind of stuff. This is something that's been on Kirra's heart, wanting to talk about a lot. We don't want people to think that one of my fears of talking about these particular topics on the channel was having people think that we are using our issues or our diseases or our disabilities to get people to feel sorry for us, and it's absolutely not. We hope to inspire. We hope that
one thing I don't like is people pitying me. It's like, I don't need your pity.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm not doing this because I want your sympathy or your pity. I'm doing this because I'm trying to show everybody that it's still possible to do things even with these hurdles.
Right, exactly. Because they're not walls. They don't stop you. You just have to get over
there are
them.
some walls.
There are some walls. But everybody has walls. Everybody has things that are like, okay, I mean, if you're a man, you can't give birth. Sorry. It's not going to happen for you. You don't have a uterus. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Or like when you try
So that's a wall.
Yeah, or like when you try to face something and you can't because you run face first into that wall. It's like, I'm going to jump this wall.
But there are steps. There are steps to get over the walls.
Yeah, it's called don't do it.
You like front seat, Kirra?
I do. I'm a front seat girl. I remember when I was younger, I hated being underweight because I couldn't sit in the front seat.
Yeah, when they had that thing. So, but we're going to get off of here. We're going to go work on the decks in between the RV and the shipping container, and maybe even the one at the back door. So we're working on those things. We've kind of slowed down a little bit. The trip to Oklahoma took it out of me. And I'm very excited for the super warm weather, but it also makes me want to just put up a hammock and take a nap in it.
I'm just trying to get back
like
into
that idea too.
I'm just trying to get back into the rhythm of working. I will be real with everybody. I don't get depression during the winter. I just sleep, and it's like, it's not
she totally gets depression in the winter. She's like, I don't do anything but sleep and hibernate. That's a form of depression.
Oh.
We really appreciate you all coming. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm excited. I hope I can go back and read everybody's comments.
I'll screenshot it all and then
maybe we can do that, and then we can put them in the comments. I tried to figure out a way to have it where all of these showed up in the comments afterwards, but I don't think it actually worked as far as it's showing up. I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch some of the lives and see if they pop up. I hope that they do, but I have gotten emails saying that they don't. So that's kind of frustrating. It's why I don't normally go back and watch other lives. But anyway, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
We're off to go get potatoes.
Get potatoes. Boop. Oh, it's hard to boop from this side. Yes, we're sure we want to stop